Hey, what's up, everybody? This is my first episode of reviewing somebody's gameplay. Hopefully, you guys enjoy. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, share with anybody that might find this useful. Appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much for the subs. Hopefully, you guys enjoy this review of somebody's gameplay that's in Masters. Let's get into it. Start the day, what I wanted to do is review one of his gameplays. He's a master right now on PS4. He sent me this game. He said, hey, this game went bad. Kind of tell me what's going on. So we're going to review it live. We're going to see how it goes. And if you guys find it helpful, I am doing this weekly. So I'm trying to do this weekly where I just go and get somebody's gameplay, figure out what they did wrong, give them some tips, and hopefully it'll help kind of everybody figure out, some more tips and tricks to get better at the game and rank up. So we'll see how this goes. So I wrote down some notes. I saw this, I watched it before to try to get kind of an understanding with the game. So this is a ranked game. They had a flight path towards water treatment. I think here they had a good jump, and it's pretty good that they're looking around, trying to figure out where people are landing, because I think that's one of the best things you could do as you're dropping, is figuring out, okay, there's one person to repulsor, there's nobody really hydro dam, nobody really diving board right here, so this is a good spot for them to land. Try to loot up and try to get into an early fight, because again, if you watched any of my ranked videos, I think the early fight is like very important to get some RP, especially if there's like nobody around. If there are people around, you definitely don't want to get into a fight, because that just you'll end up in a third party situation where even if you kill the first team, you're gonna end up getting third party by somebody. And here I like his gun selection. So he picks up a wingman. He ends up picking up a 301 with the 2x. I don't use the 301 2x, but I know that the 301 and 2x is a very popular option for a lot of people. But that's pretty good loot. They don't get good shields. I like what he does here. You kind of look around, especially if you're playing crypto, you look around to see how many squads are in the area. So this is like perfect, right? So if you were in this situation, you probably want to loot up, you get white shields, and even if the other team has blues or purples, this is probably a good fight to take for you, because you could take their loot, and you have your loot already, you take their loot and you have like a whole space, and then you kind of rotate diving board is kind of what I would think in my head as I'm going through this. They end up rotating out of repulsor. Which is like not something that I would have done. Repulsor Hydro Dam was like a little bit looted because I think a team went to swamps, but they should have taken the fight at repulsor to get the loot and then rotate into Hydro Dam, because I think this ring is also rotating. They're kind of rotating back into ring, where the ring is like on the opposite side of the map. This is okay. They end up getting into this fight, but before that, I think they should be checking banners here. You should be checking banners to figure out how many squads are nearby, figuring out if this is a fight you want to take. You are rotating further from ring. I know you're trying to get loot and shields, but I think that even if you get into the fight early on and take their shields, I think that's better than like, kind of rotating, because a lot of this is going to be looted, so they might not find the shields that they want because it's already looted from the swamp team. So you'll see here, like they take the whole first ring, right, to try to find some loot, and they're like farther than they should be. And they're repositioning here. Use his dome shield. They're repositioning, trying to get some height. They have a G7. And this fight actually lasts for a long time. So one of the things that I always say is, like, if a fight is lasting more than maybe a minute and a half, 2 minutes, even less than that, like, you should think about rotating out of that fight, because if you stay in a fight too long, you'll get either one, you'll get stuck in ring, or you're gonna get stuck getting third party because somebody's gonna hear the fight. And again, here he hasn't checked banners. I think he should have checked banners to figure out how many people are in this fight, because right now, as like a crypto, you need to figure out, are you safe or you not. I think one of his teammates downs one here, so they end up aping this team. Yeah, you see the down here, they start getting the revive, so this is why they ape. They start aping this team. But I still don't see him checking banners to figure out how many teams are nearby. Especially as crypto, as a support character, you need to be, communicating all of that. And this is a lot of noise. So this is a lot of noise. There's a Gibby ult. People are gonna hear that, you know, rotating from into ring. They're gonna know, okay, there's a team coming from swamps, and they end up winning this fight and getting shields. So they have 2 purples right now because they down, I think, 2 of them. And I love his gun. I mean, for me, like, I like his gun selection because this is what I run. You know, I run a G7 Prowler. You know, I love that he picked up it 3 times. And you know, I think the guns. He has the guns. They have the loot. They have 3 purples, and they're fighting. They're like looking for this one person. And so if it was my team, I'd probably tell them not to chase or not to freaking hunt down this person because they're taking a long, like, it's 2 minutes left into closing the full ring, and it's really not worth it for you to stay into ring this long for 1 KP. They have 2 KP already. They have 2 points, so that means 1 kill and 1 assist. They end up getting the kill here, which is fine. They take a while looting. He ended up almost dying, so even, you know, if they had the res, that's even more time that they're taking from getting all the way into ring. It's kind of a necessary Gibby shield right here. I know he's gonna get it back soon, but I think they need to be a little bit quicker with their rotations and figuring out how they're gonna take it. And then personally here, so he just pinged the jump tower. I feel like when you're rotating, especially, they're not that far from ring, so they could probably walk it in. But when you're taking jump tower, you got to be cognizant that other people are going to be looking, you know, or be able to hear you or see you in the sky and figure out where you're going to be rotating into. And one of their teammates already just bounced, and they got separated a little bit here, so they need to be a little bit more, you know, especially out of this ring. Like, a lot of people are going to gatekeep you. Like, there's no doubt in my mind that there's going to be a lot of people edge your ring because they're rotating in. So I personally don't like taking balloons because of that reason. Like, people can see you, you know, rotating from anywhere really, and I definitely would not, you know, that wouldn't be my first option. They make it into ring. They're here, so they make it safe. They're really not getting gate kept, which is a positive. They have good loot. They won the fight. They have some kill points. They have 3. So this you know, Pang has 2 kills, 1 assist. That's almost max points. You really only need 2 more assists. He even called it, like, I can hear his like audio a little bit, and he said we don't need to take this fight. And you need to trust your gut in this, and that if you feel like you don't need to take the fight, don't take the fight. And here, it's interesting that he goes in. There's 3 squads. You can see in the banner up top. I don't know if you guys caught that. But when he's going into his drone, you can see kind of at the top, when he goes into it, there's 3 squads around, right? And that's a warning sign that you probably shouldn't take the fight because you're going to get third party. Even if you win the fight, even if you get the loot. This guy jumped down. Now there's 4 squads if you look at the banner again. So people are rotating in from ring. People are, you know, coming from all sides. They lose height here. His teammates jump down for the loot boxes, which is something that, you know, you can't put yourself in a hole. They put themselves in a hole. They're under the stairs. There's, you know, people all around. And at this point for me, with so many people, so he's getting shot from his, you know, his west side, his like southeast side, or southwest side. So he's getting shot from a lot of people. At this point, like, I think they should be thinking about rotating out. And like at this, they have good position to rotate. So they have 4 points. He has 4 points. There's no reason for them to kind of stick around. And the Gibby has a great idea to get out. I think, you know, I think the comms need to be on point. I think you need to be really adamant about getting out. This Caustic takes a med and kind of turns around and looks for the team and kind of sits around and is getting aped. And at this point, when he goes down, his teammates should think about just like just rotating into ring. Like, don't be afraid of getting into ring, especially if you have heals. Is that you can kind of rotate back into ring, go all the way around to balloon. There's a redeploy right there, and then rotate out and then get his teammate's banner with the crypto drone. I think that's one of the things that, like, I would point out is that he really should have done a better job of kind of being adamant. Here, let's go back to that like last piece of it. I think once the Caustic got knocked, you got to think about kind of playing for you two, especially if you have 4 points, right? 4 points is not easy to come by in ranked, and I'd rather take, you know, plus 40 than a minus 20. That's a 60-point swing. So right here at this point, even before that, as he was getting, I think, not here. Let's see. So right here, as he's getting shot, I think this point, your teammates need to say, hey, dude, we're going to leave. We'll get your banner. We need to go back into ring to the redeploy, and we'll get your banner later, and you can kind of reset. So that way, right now, he's minus 20. He has 4 points. They had a good fight early on. They made a good rotation in the ring, and they got into a bad fight. So at this point, you need to, you know, kind of, again, communicate, figure out, hey, we need to go back in the ring, get out, and then reposition and reset. I think at that point you need to, you know, really make that decision. And the decision here that was made is to get into the fight, try to fight it. His teammate might have been calling that he heard him, but you kind of got to be smart here and really realize that, like, you're up against, you know, a Revolt. The Pathfinder's gonna heal. He's got purple Evo. So it's definitely something that they should have thought about and talked about. So to kind of like go through, you know, kind of what, you know, I saw here is that they had a good start to the game. They got some loot. They got good guns. So he had a wingman with an extended mag and a R301 with 2 times, and his teammates probably had some good guns. I think they should have taken the fight in Repulsor. They took a fight out of zone in swamps in an area where, you know, it's harder to rotate from. They should have rotated through kind of diving board, repulsor area, kind of through into like cage area. But instead they went back out, and that's totally fine. They won the fight, but I think the Crypto needs to do a better job at calling out how many squads are in the area, communicating to the team, hey, let's not, you know, go with his gut, you know, let's not fight this. You have 3 kill points, like, let's get out, let's go into ring, prioritize ring position. I can't say that enough. You know, it's really important to make your rotations crisp, to make sure that you have height in end ring and end game. I think that wins. As good of an aim that you have, like, height wins every time. And yeah, I think that they needed to reset. So if you get into a situation like this where the Caustic goes down, the Crypto and Gibby need to do a better job at just getting out and resetting and, you know, live to fight another day, right? You don't want to go minus 20 here when you have a good start to the game. You want to go plus 40, plus 55 is even better than the minus 20s. So yeah, so that's my first gameplay review. If you enjoyed it, let me know. If you did not enjoy it, if you want more aspects of, you know, I don't know, if you want different perspectives or if you want me to talk about different things, let me know. If you're interested in getting your gameplay reviewed, also let me know, and I'll figure out, you know, the best way is to upload to YouTube, mark it as unlisted, and send it to me, and then I'll do this every week. The more I have, the more I will do it. So I want to spend maybe an hour doing some coaching like this for everybody. It creates more educational value for you guys going forward, right? It's just, you know, I'm going to be reviewing gameplay, but hope you guys enjoyed that. Now I'm going to go into Apex Legends and actually get into the gameplay. But appreciate you guys for kind of sticking with me for that.